Part 3 of the analysis of This Is Where It Begins. Or This Is Where It Begins, mother reviewing for her college Spanish exam, Ojos, labios, manos. The education that her mother's going through establishes the idea that we never stop growing and changing. Every time the poem tries to locate itself, where it begins, it changes. This reflects that there's no stable origin of identity in the poem. Suddenly, also under my skin, long before I understood eyes, how they conjure ghosts under the bed. Lips, how they make ghosts speak. Hands, how they cannot be silent. Conjuring ghosts under the bed is a historical allusion to the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. Filipino identity has its roots partly in Spain due to the colonization. I remember too Father gesturing, invoking once upon a time. This is where it begins. Story, word, gesture, all under my skin. At 6 years old, perhaps 5. There's tactile imagery of the gestures which shows the father's ancestral or familiar way of telling the story. This is an important part of the memory. He's passionate, he's all-encompassing. He is a part of the story because of the way that he tells it. This is really important in her memory. There's repetition of under my skin, which suggests that some aspects of identity are also beneath the surface, that they're part of us, but this under my skin part shows that it is bothering her. And so this poem is for my father, mother, grandmother, grandfather, and all the storytellers, the conjurers who came before us. They made us shiver not just over crab stealers hiding under the bed or a lady uncertain of her garb. They made us shiver also over faith, over tenderness. There's listing of the dedication to her father, mother, grandmother, grandfather, which acknowledges the impact of formative influences on identity. The family has formed who she is today. The conjurers make something out of nothing. There's a sense of the whimsical, the magical, forming memories, language, culture, and identity. There's repetition of they made us shiver to reinforce the power of storytelling to make strong impressions on our psyche, which contrasts with the ideas of fear and tenderness. No, storytelling is not lonely, not as we claim, in our little rooms lit only by a lamp or a late computer glow. Between the hand and the pen, or the eye and the screen, they have never left, they who story told before us, they who are under our skin. There's this definitive statement about the nature of storytelling. Storytelling is not lonely. It's a shared experience that's passed down generations. When we communicate our forebears, they are also communicating through us, which means that there's no such thing as true originality. There's repetition of under our skin, which emphasizes how ingrained our ancestors are in our identity. And I think it also contrasts with this idea of a lamp or a late computer glowing, showing warmth. Perhaps they even conjured us, but not alone. Storytelling, all our eyes collect into a singular seeing. Our lips test one note over and over again. Our hands follow each other's arc, each sweep of resolve. Eyes, lips, hands conjoined, the umbilical cord restored. The conjurers or storytellers have power. They make stories appear, but they also make people appear. There's listing here, which shows the joining of languages and cultures to form identity. Identities that, like conjoined twins, can live together. There's a metaphor which implies that language allows us to reconnect with our origins that formed and nurtured us, gave her life. That's the umbilical cord, which is restored. Thank you for listening. Please check out our other poems.